Hello and welcome back to Tire Talk. We've had a little bit of a break. Obviously, Imola got called off last week, but we're moving on to Monaco. Obviously, we've heard before from these two about what their thoughts on Monaco are. But first of all, how you doing? Let's have a little catch up. Matty, how you doing, my friend?
Good. Uni is over. First year
Mm,
done. Exams done. Now it's just time to chill, relax, and focus more on this.
yeah, that's a beautiful segue. We can quickly just mention our website is getting updated more regularly now. We'll get more stuff on there all the time. Check out all our socials. But Matty, sorry, Dan, how are you doing?
Doing all right, yeah. It's a nice day, isn't it? Well, it's summer now.
Yes, it is.
Get lovely, lovely time to watch some Formula One. Stay inside
And
all day, watching the F1 instead.
what about the football, Dan?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Should we not
I
talk
don't
about
watch
that?
football. No,
You
I
don't
don't
watch
watch
football?
football.
No, I
No,
don't
no, I
believe it. I
don't know.
don't think I do actually either, to
What
be honest,
what
especially
top you got on there,
for
Dan?
Champions League.
It's actually a McLaren one. You can't see it
Oh
because
yeah.
it,
Oh,
matches the
okay.
hat.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when they were
Wait.
sponsored by Adidas.
Dan, if you just
Yeah,
lean
yeah, yeah.
slightly to the side, what does it say behind you? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Oh, wow. How did that? Oh, was that the
What?
Red Bull hat? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the
No
Red Bull
way.
hat. Yeah,
Ignore
that's
the
not that.
wardrobe as well. You can't see it.
Yeah, we'll save you the pain. Moving on to Monaco. All right. What is everyone's personal favorite moment from Monaco? Be it a race win or just an interesting moment. What are you thinking?
can I have a couple?
Yeah, go on then.
Man, I like photography, so number one is the Daniel Ricciardo pure picture. I think that's such a cool picture.
Definitely, I agree.
Um, Number two, recently, I think it was like 2 years ago, the Louis Vuitton suitcase that the trophy was in, if
Oh,
anyone
okay.
remembers it. And the Lance Stroll cut Lance Stroll. I think that was quite funny. Not to do with racing, but it's just funny.
Fair enough, Dan. What are you thinking?
I'm torn between two, and they're both Red Bull related. Christian Horner when he was naked, apart from the cape, and had to jump in the pool, or
Right.
when the whole Star Wars thing. We know when Red Bull had the pit crews,
Yeah,
Star, yeah, that was pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to go with the 2004 Monaco Grand Prix where to what was it for Ocean's 11 to promote the film they put diamonds on the front of both the Jaguars and one of them crashed and the diamond has disappeared forever. Um, I just found that really interesting. No other race has really got a moment like that, I don't
So it
think.
was quite funny as well. Was it Kimi Räikkönen DNF'd and
Oh
just went to
yeah,
his yacht? Just walked, just went to his and just chilled on the yacht. That was quite funny.
Yeah. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? But let's move on into this weekend's race. I've got a bit of a big question for you, actually. Obviously the Aston Martins have been quite quick this season. Obviously they are not so good in a straight line as they are in the corners. So does that mean that the Monaco Grand Prix could be Fernando Alonso's best chance at a race win this season?
No, I think Perez takes this
But
because
is it Alonso's best chance at the win though?
probably because I don't know. No, no.
The way I see
Dan's
it,
on the Z.
I think
go on,
so
Dan.
because the Red Bull it can't use that nutty DRS it has, so it automatically everyone's closer. We know that they struggle in qualifying compared to in the race pace the Red Bull. So if Fernando hooks a lap together and manages to get on pole, and you can't
Mm,
overtake because the cars are like bathtubs and
mm.
there's no space to overtake, he could just win.
Yeah, I agree. I think of all the races this season, because obviously the complete lack of overtaking we see at Monaco in Formula One, not talking about Formula E with like 116 overtakes or something, but in Formula One there's no overtakes, and Alonso even then is possibly one of the best defenders on the grid. So surely the way I see it,
It's
out
all
of any
about the
tracks
Saturday,
this
innit?
season.
It's all about the Saturday. If the Saturday goes well, then yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
but he's a good qualifier as well. I think he's got a great chance. There's every chance that someone puts it into a wall and stops Verstappen getting a pole lap, or even Leclerc. I think as a
I
chance.
think I was going to say. I think we have a three-way this week with Ferrari,
Mm.
Aston, and Red Bull.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think as well, we can't ignore the fact that obviously we didn't get to see the Mercedes upgrade in Imola. So there's a slight chance that they could now be back at the front of that they could
It's
be
not
back
ideal
up
though,
in the
is it?
pace. It's
It's
very
not
much not
ideal.
ideal.
You don't want to test your upgrades in Monaco, do you? Really?
No. But it is there is a chance that they'll be back up at the front, I suppose. What are we thinking?
Yeah. Well, we know that it's side pod related. He said that, hasn't he, Toto? And there's a new
Yeah.
floor coming as well. So
Mm.
if they've whacked a shed load of downforce on, then they might have a chance. But I think it's more. I think they're focused on like characteristics that won't really suit Monaco. So I don't know. Maybe they'll be in there. I think they'll be involved down there. They're still the fourth quickest team. There's not much in it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Should we go straight into our Monaco predictions then? I think that flows quite nicely. We'll do our top five.
Let me
Who
have a
wants to go
little.
first?
Let me have a little think.
I've got mine ready
I
to
know
go.
mine.
Do I
Go
go
on.
bold? Do I go bold?
Dan, you go
We're going.
first.
We're going from fifth to first.
Yeah, from fifth to first.
Okay. Sainz, Perez,
Okay.
Verstappen, Leclerc, Alonso.
Oh, you're backing the Alonso win.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I'm going. So in fifth, I'm taking Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to back the upgrades for the Mercs. I also just think he's the fifth fastest car because I don't think Sainz is quite as good, and I think it could be him or Russell, but I'm going with Hamilton. I'm then going to go Leclerc in fourth. I think the Ferraris are good, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's some sort of strategy error or
Going on.
something. Maybe even a crash. Who knows? I'm going to go Perez in third because I just think that the Red Bull's just rapid, and I'm going to go Alonso in second. And then I'm going to put Verstappen in for the win. I think it's so hard to go against them at the moment.
Cop out.
I know. Just it's I think Verstappen's a cop out. He's so fast.
I feel like
What
we should limit the amount of times we're allowed to say Verstappen for the season. We should be allowed 15 Verstappens for the whole season, and we have to predict some other winners.
Do you know that's mad though that you just said you can predict him 15 times. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's so
there's 20. That's 8 races where you can't predict him.
Yeah. No, but that's still.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's crazy that that's how fast the Red
Yeah.
Bull is. That when you're trying to predict it, you're still trying to set a reasonable limit of 15 wins. That's nuts. Mate, what's your top five going to be?
Esteban Ocon, Leclerc, Verstappen, Alonso, Perez.
To win.
Go for a Perez win.
Yeah,
That'd be good. It'd be good for the championship, wouldn't it?
but Ocon is going to have a good Saturday. He's going to
crash it on Sunday.
No, put him fifth. Put him fifth on a Sunday.
No chance Ocon. You know what? I reckon he's going to get sort of eighth or ninth if he's lucky. If he has a good race.
Yeah.
Not happening. And I think we can also talk about then, because you two have both said that you want Monaco off the calendar. I do disagree. I want that formally recognised. But what can be done to Monaco to make it better?
First of all, Joe, before we answer this, Monaco needs to be off the calendar. It's boring. And I get it. It's probably the biggest race of the season. I get
Other than Miami, of course, right?
Yeah, other than Miami. But really, it's just the first lap that's good. And the Saturday, the rest of it, you're on your phone. And you can't lie, you're on your phone all race. Dan, what do you think of Monaco? Because I know you're on my side.
I would agree that it has to go until it should go on hiatus until they make the cars smaller. That's my final verdict. It shouldn't, as it is at the moment, it's pointless. It's a procession.
But we both agree that it has to go.
Yeah, as it is at the moment, yeah, because it's not a race. It's just it's you follow the leader. It's a line.
I completely disagree. Well, I don't think you're wrong in terms of the fact that there are the limited overtaking, but Monaco is the most historic race, arguably, on the whole circuit. I think as well, the Saturday never failed, very rarely fails to disappoint. It's always drama filled. and it's interesting. One of the best Saturdays on the year, in the year, sorry. And I also think that yes, the race is boring. However, it is the ultimate test of a driver's ability. If you can drive fast in Monaco, if you can get a good time in Monaco, um, rightly so, you go down in the history books. Perez winning Monaco last year shows that despite the fact he's probably he probably isn't going to mount any sort of serious challenge towards Max this year, but it shows he's a classy driver and he gets his name in the history books, rightly so. And I don't think it should be taken off. I think it's history. It's in the DNA of Formula One. I don't think you can take it out. That's my view.
Okay, don't take it out, but we need to improve it though.
Yeah, I think
think
there
we
are things
can.
that can be done to improve it, and I
One
think as
one
well,
is what Dan said. Make the
yeah,
cars smaller.
yeah, they are massive.
It's not Monaco's fault. Like it's the track. The track hasn't changed. The cars have changed. They need to you shouldn't be changing the track. The track was fine, but when you've got these massive cars with loads of understeer, it's just like it makes it harder than it already was in the last generation of cars. Like when you look at from 2005 and then proper little midget cars they used to fly about in, like they can
Yeah.
actually do stuff in them, but they're too big. They don't understeery like I said, and it's just impossible for them.
I reckon
I think
make them race in go-karts.
yeah, that would be really interesting,
That's how you improve it.
especially because there was talk of a Formula One World Cup or Motorsport World Cup or something. Did you see that? And people talking about getting all the cars getting all the drivers in equal cars and getting 2 drivers from each nation. It would be interesting, but I really don't think that should happen because it would take away from Formula One, I think. But it would be interesting though, to be fair. But I
There's
think as
nothing else to
well.
improve though, is there? It's just make the cars smaller.
No, I disagree. I
You know what I
disagree.
like to see?
I think the
What's
one
the
thing.
what's the turn when you come out the tunnel?
What, the chicane?
Yeah, I reckon you scrap that and just go flat out.
No, that's the only
Just-
overtaking point.
That is the only overtaking point, I think.
Yeah, true.
I think
Or
there's definitely
allow
other stuff that can be changed.
allow them to drive on it.
You know what they should do? Actually, put a DRS zone in the tunnel.
Yeah, I reckon
That's
why
quite
not?
dangerous, that though, isn't it? It's only short.
Yeah, but all of Formula One's dangerous.
No, but that's like a DRS zone's quite long, isn't it? That's like
Yeah, but it would help, wouldn't it?
It would massively help. I think I agree with that actually. Get a DRS zone in there, why not?
It's just off the back of the slowest section where people are like nose to tail. Get a DRS zone into the chicane. See what happens.
Yeah, get some overtaking going. And I think that there's something as well, another change that has to be made, probably to all of Formula One, I think, is to make the tyres less durable. Make it so that teams have to do a minimum of a 2-stop, maybe even some, make it so that 3 stops can be viable because that's where you get interesting decisions.
Make it mandatory for each tyre to be used.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Well, can that be dangerous as well? Because if tyres are less durable, then they can blow out at any time. And
yeah, but that's why you don't force a 1-stop.
Yeah, no, but like it could be like the data could be wrong if you get me. Like Verstappen at Baku, tyres blew out.
Yeah, but that's always a risk.
But
that's always a risk that can happen.
If it's less durable, it's more likely to happen.
And I definitely disagree with that because I think that there is always a risk that the tyres blow out. Teams have to be prepared for that, and they're not stupid. They know that if the tyres are less durable, they're going to have to pit sooner. So I don't think I think that's always a risk in Formula One. They've got to be prepared for that, and that is kind of the point as well, because you don't want them to, you don't want the tyres to blow out, so you just pit them sooner and pit them more. And I think that, especially in Monaco, we've already seen what was it 20. Test my knowledge here. Maybe 2018 when Ricardo got pulled in and they weren't ready for him, so he ended up losing the win. That is much more likely to things like that are much more likely to happen when there are more chances for mistakes to be made. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but there's more pit stops in Monaco. It could be the same as Bottas, the longest pit stop in history, where his tyre just didn't come off for about 3 days.
Yeah, longest pit stop ever. But that's what I mean. You want jeopardy, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
And
when Albon can do the whole Aussie GP on one set of tires, it's
yeah,
just that defeats the point, doesn't it? Really.
yeah. Because it's also it's not just a one person sport. You know, every car is not just driven by one man. Well, they're driven by one man, but there's a whole team of the pit crew and the engineers who also are part of the team. And if they only pit them once, or they have the possibility of not even having to pit them at all, it's kind of like, well, what's the point? If you get everyone more involved, it becomes, I think, more of a team sport maybe. Um, but it's an interesting one. I definitely think they should do that for next season, though. I will say that because I think that would instantly improve pretty much all the races on the calendar.
I think it's better
Um,
than the bloody qualifying rules they want to introduce. Sod that.
what are these qualifying rules? Sorry.
Because they want to do one session on the hard, one session on the medium, and Q3 on the soft, don't they? Which is stupid.
Oh, okay. Why is that
Well,
stupid?
because the better cars have more downforce, which warm the tyres up quicker. So you're not going to get any of the shit cars getting out of Q1 anymore.
Oh, okay. I get you. I know what you mean. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, when that's not in place, you get more upsets and stuff.
If you've got the soft tyres that switch on straight away, don't matter who it is, it's more down to the driver. But you've got the hard tyre, which on the Williams takes 9 laps to warm up, compared to
Yeah.
the Ferrari, which can get it done in 2.
Mm. Yeah.
It
No, fair
removes all
enough.
the jeopardy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the new McLaren look
Ooh.
for Monaco?
Do you want me to quickly run through what each section of the car means? Because I've got it all there. Because it's got so basically the McLaren livery is called it's the Triple Crown livery, which Matt Gallagher has described on Twitter as sex on wheels. So it's quite a popular livery. So the front of the car is black, which is to tribute the 1995 McLaren F1 GTR 24 Hours of Le Mans, where they won that race in 1995, obviously. The center of the car, which has been described as ice white, is to commemorate Alain Prost winning Monaco in 1984 in the McLaren, obviously. And then the rear of the car, which is still the papaya orange, is to commemorate the Indy 500 winning McLaren, which is in 1974, which was the M16C/D. Therefore, that is the Triple Crown. So they've split the car into thirds, and yeah, they've done design like that. I'm sure Matty will get a picture up on screen for those of you who haven't seen it. Back to you, Matty. What are your thoughts on it?
Do you know what? At first, I didn't like it until I found out what it was about. Like, because I thought the orange would have been better if it was the red.
Okay.
But then I understand now that each color represents a different car and a different motorsport, if you get me.
Yeah.
And so I quite like it. Black and white. Can't go wrong in any car, can you?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a nice looking car, to be honest.
Yeah, Dan, what do you think about it?
I like it. It's not quite the Gulf livery in it. Let's be honest.
No.
But it's
it
better
never
than
was going to be.
the Red Bull Miami's livery. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
just like 3 lines on the side pod. I thought you were going to say the white Red Bull. Then I'm about to kick off for you.
No, that was unbelievable.
What the one from, was it Turkey 2020?
Yeah,
That was a 2021.
So
That was
good.
a beautiful car. I think this one genuinely. I need to look at it again. I've not got a picture of it in front of me, but when I look, it does look really good, and I think it'll look so nice flying around the track, especially with the chicane towards the end of just past the pool section. Yeah, it'll look so nice going through that with all the 3 colors coming past the camera.
I know.
So
it looks so nice in 14th place. Oh.
It will. It won't score points, but it'll make memories, and that's what matters.
It's the winner in our hearts.
If they crash,
Yeah.
it's like
yeah,
it's wrecked.
It never ends well. It usually does it. It's one-off liveries. Never usually goes well.
No. Although
didn't
for Max Verstappen last week.
Didn't Norris get P. Fleener's golf livery?
He did, but then you've got Mercedes is the big one in it when they with that home in Germany, and both of them fucked it up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what are your thoughts on livery? Do you like it or not?
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
I don't think
7 out of 10.
7.
Yeah.
I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I'll go. I'll go 8. I'll go 8. I'll go in the middle. I'll go 8.
There we go then. That's McLaren livery.
Cool. Let's take it away from Monaco specifically. For this next bit, we've got some. There's quite a lot of stuff that's happened in the break. A lot of it involving driver switches. And I think the big one is definitely the idea of Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari on a massive deal, and Leclerc taking Hamilton's seat at Mercedes. I will say as well that Toto Wolff has said that Mercedes are committed to re-signing Lewis, putting pen to paper. But I think there's still the chance it could happen. What would you boys think of that?
The question is, who gets the better deal there? Is it Leclerc or Hamilton? Because I think this season, it's probably bold to say, but Mercedes is a better car than the Ferrari.
I don't think it benefits anyone.
It seems interesting to me, doesn't it?
It benefits
It would be
Leclerc more to go into Mercedes.
I don't
think.
think it does. I don't think it benefits either of them. Obviously, it would be like the biggest driver transfer ever if it happened. But you've got it's a sideways step in it for Lewis, and he needs if he wants to win another title, it's got to be a forward step because he's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And Leclerc's moving from a team where he's the number one against a teammate that he's got the measure of, and then he'd be moving to Mercedes where Russell's there, who he hasn't will be more competitive with, and it's not his team.
Yeah.
And so Mercedes have got a problem with two number one drivers, and Ferrari have then lost their best driver, who for a great driver, but he's very old. So I just don't see who benefits out of any of it.
I think out of the two, Leclerc would probably benefit more because I think Mercedes is probably a good place to be right now as a driver, especially like going into a new team, because I think they're only really going to get better from here. And I'm not sure it'll be that long. And when I say that long, I mean like a couple of seasons before they're back at the top of the tree. I think they'll be, but they'll get a grip of themselves. They are a team of winners. They know how to win, and Leclerc wants to be somewhere where he's going to win. I think Mercedes is probably quite an attractive place to go to. I think the competition with Russell would be fierce, but I think it would be very interesting. I'm genuinely not sure who would do better. In if Leclerc was to go, maybe by the second season Leclerc would get the better of Russell, but first season I think would be very interesting.
I agree. I think Leclerc gets the better deal there.
I'm not sure. It seems like an interesting deal for Hamilton. I don't see what he gets out of it because Ferrari just seems to keep messing things up. Yeah,
everyone wants to if he goes there, if he wins his 8th title with Ferrari, and he's the first, and he's the first driver to win the title there since Kimi. How many years is it now that they've been without? Is it 16?
Yeah, 16 years.
Imagine that. Imagine.
That'd be so weird. That'd be so weird.
Yeah. And he kind of owes it to Schumacher anyway.
For his legacy, it'd be good to go to Ferrari. To say that you've raced for.
Do you think
Mercedes? Yeah, Ferrari's the biggest.
I think
biggest team in F1.
I agree with that. Yeah,
just to be say I've drove for Ferrari, it's just
but in terms of his legacy, he doesn't want to be remembered as someone who gets emotional and switches to a team who've been his main competitor for the past 15 years.
No, I think
you think he'd want to be a one-team man, I suppose.
It's good to
put
like
the
Messi
thing,
in
it's like the Messi thing, how people say, "Oh, he's not good because he hasn't done it he's not done it in another league." Messi,
yeah,
and then Hamilton's only been in a Mercedes-powered car his whole career. If he were to switch to Ferrari and if he can do it for someone that isn't Mercedes, I think that would validate his career a lot.
I like to see it, me.
I would. Who doesn't want to see it?
Purely because I'm interested. Yeah.
I want it to happen, but I just want Lewis to go to Ferrari and have Lewis Leclerc as the partnership.
Oh, that would be really good. I was thinking, because if Toto Wolff's saying that they really want to re-sign Lewis, what if it's Lewis and Leclerc and then like Russell goes to Ferrari? That's a good question, actually. Who's the better driver out of Leclerc and Russell? Who wins in equal machinery?
Leclerc.
Yeah, it probably would be.
I think he's got a mistake in him, but he's so quick. He's so good.
Yeah,
it'd be close, but over one lap he beats him most times.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I was going to say actually, we've not really seen Leclerc in a car that matches his ability because obviously he's in a car at the moment that's rapid over one lap and has been last season as well, but in race pace and reliability just
No, but
can't
he
hold
had
on.
for the first 3 seasons he had one, and he got a Grand Slam, another win, and finished second. So
Yeah,
I think
that
last
that
season.
that was the
I
best.
think
Yeah, that's what I mean. The class of the field last season, the first couple of races,
Yeah.
he 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 was best driver on the grid by a mile. So consistent. In Australia, we were just on another planet to everyone else.
He does need to improve because,
yeah,
like Dan
true.
said, he does have a mistake in him.
I think that's overdriving
I
though
think Russell.
sometimes because he knows a Ferrari's not good enough sometimes, and he just try to get more out of it than there is, and he'll just smash it into a wall because he's trying to do so well.
Yeah, yeah, fair. And then the only other thing I think we could talking about driver replacements, is the Nick De Vries situation.
Seen
I've heard a
this?
lot of speculation. I think that there are quite a few interesting
Oh,
suggestions, and I'll get to the most interesting one
Daniel
last.
Ricciardo.
But no, yeah, I'll get to him. I'll get to him in a minute.
mate,
So we've got other big names
I'm about
like
to
Danny
flex my
Kvyat,
F2 knowledge here.
Mick. Okay, you do it then. You do. I've got names written
Iwasa,
down, but yeah,
Liam Lawson, Dennis Hauger.
yeah.
Who else is in there?
There's
Who else have you put down?
Drugovic's
Who you
in
put
there.
down?
I've
Yeah,
got
he is, I
Drugovic.
suppose.
There were a couple as well that I
Teo
didn't write
Pocher,
down, but Teo Pocher I was not
there's
actually. I
Iwasa.
watched. I didn't see Teo Pocher linked to them, but Iwasa was. I think Liam Lawson
Probably a
was
long
actually the
shot.
main one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But I think
it's Lawson and Iwasa, isn't it?
yeah, but I do think that Ricardo is the best option
Is it bad? No, wait there.
for this
Is
season. For
It's not.
this season,
is it?
I think for this season he is. I think next season you go Liam Lawson, and that's what I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because it's
And
bad to
Get Lawson in.
the
Chuck him in.
rule. A rule that I
can I
think
tell you why? Can I tell
a
you
rule
why?
that I would bring in, yeah, to F1 is that if a driver is out of the car for like 2 years, they can't come back into F1 because it's unfair
No,
on the young
I
people
don't
coming
agree
up.
with that.
I do. Maybe,
Alonso wouldn't have come back then.
no, but it's unfair on driver. Like Ricardo can't be in the AlphaTauri because it's unfair on a driver who's proven his worth in F2 to try and get a seat in F1.
Yeah,
And
I'm of the
don't get
persuasion
me
that
wrong,
if you win F2,
I
you
love
should get an
Ricardo.
F1 seat.
Yeah, I love Ricardo. This season, I agree with Joe. This season, yeah. Next season, no.
Can I say why I think Ricardo should get it for this season, for the rest of this season, if they're going to pick a new driver? I think he would be the perfect measure to see if Sonoda is good enough, right? Because if Sonoda, because at the moment he's just going to beat De Vries every week, and it's not going to say anything about Sonoda. Oh, he beat him 23-0. No, it doesn't matter. But if you get Ricardo in the car, someone who knows, first of all, he knows Alpha, well, what was Toro Rosso. They know him, he knows them, he knows how it works. He would probably fit in relatively seamlessly. Obviously, with the debate of how good he actually is in terms of quality. But if Sonoda could beat Daniel Ricciardo consistently, it possibly shows he's good enough to partner Verstappen when Perez leaves, maybe. And I think as well, just from a purely short-term basis, which is not something I necessarily agree with, but it's something that Formula One definitely agrees with, is that Daniel Ricciardo sells, right? If he goes to AlphaTauri, their sales will shoot up and people will actually start caring about them, if I'm being honest. Because there's not a lot of interest in AlphaTauri at the moment. And Ricciardo does that just for this season. And then next season you get Liam Lawson and you move on upwards. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No,
Dan, you're shaking your head. What's up?
no. Because the last team who should be thinking of a short-term option is AlphaTauri. They're literally a development team. The whole purpose of AlphaTauri is to develop drivers in the long term to go to Red Bull. That's the whole point of the team.
Yeah, but I think Danny Ricciardo can help Sonoda. Like I think he can help
I
a
think,
lot.
but Ricardo said himself he doesn't want to take a step back on the grid. He's only going to come back in a competitive car. You've got Red Bull about 47 juniors in other categories. If you're going to replace De Vries, you might as well chuck one of them in.
Yeah, but I also think
They're just wasting.
I also think it'd be a great opportunity for Ricardo though, because you put him back in a car where he's not necessarily going to be at the front, but if he can fight for points and do what Tsunoda's doing, and get points every now and then and really challenge, then it does show that he's good enough. And if he's not good enough, then he'll never get a drive again. I think it sort of works both ways. I think.
So
I'd argue Ricardo's names in terms of F1 names is one of the biggest out there.
He's the most
In
popular.
terms of-
He was the most popular in America, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's
He's-
probably still one of the most known F1 drivers. I mean, maybe ever. If you think about the fact that F1 has exploded in recent years, and especially you've got all the people from the Drive to Survive, they all know who Ricardo is because they followed him for about 3
I
seasons
don't think it's
straight.
even his driving ability; it's his personality that makes
Yeah, no,
people like
exactly.
him.
Yeah, the last of the late breakers, though. To be fair,
But I think
Yeah.
this season, next season, no. or with Dan, just get someone else in.
Get in Iwasa or Hauger,
Wait,
please.
so there's
or
no one.
Lawson.
There's no one to keep De Vries in the seat. Is everyone?
I would
Ooh,
keep
that's
De Vries.
interesting.
If
I would
you're
keep
going to
De Vries as
replace
well.
him, like I say, you should give an F2 winner one season in F1 at least.
Hmm.
So how many races?
Because I'm still
5.
no the full season. No, I
No, but
don't care.
no,
I
has there
don't
been
care.
5 races so far?
Yeah, literally just
Yeah.
5 races.
You can't kick someone out.
Yeah.
You can't.
I agree.
How,
Give
how
him
is
some
that
more time.
enough times? It's not.
Although I do think it's
He's
interesting
been driving in
because
the Formula E car for 3 years, and
yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if we got to the I don't know when the summer is it summer break that's coming up in a few weeks, or is it even after Monaco? I probably should have checked actually, but
it's after Hungary, isn't it? Usually.
after Hungary, it really wouldn't surprise me that if the Vries didn't perform until then, it would not surprise me in the slightest if they replaced them, because that's the type of environment that the Rebel teams have sort of created. It's ruthless, and if you're not driving well, then you don't get a seat. We saw it with Verstappen replacing Kvyat mid-season, and then being just pushed through. Really would not surprise me if they did it in the summer break, to be honest.
Yeah, it depends. I think it depends how Iwasa gets on in F2.
Yeah,
because he's been really good. We had a bit of a rotter last time. If he's still dicking around with Porsche at the top, then they might push him straight through, halfway through.
Yeah, maybe. And also Liam Lawson.
They did that with
Liam Lawson's the big other option. 3rd in F1 in 2022. A lot of people are sort of seeing him as the sort of natural replacement to De Vries, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is it for today. There's a little bit of a Monaco preview and also just sort of the F1 roundup for the past few weeks because we've been missing. Thank you very much for watching or listening. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out our socials as well. We'll have regular updates to our website coming over the summer because we're all free now, pretty much. So make sure to keep an eye on that. And yeah, thank you for watching.